Hello, me mateys! Vuvi Yaloovie here. We're climbing up the ranked doubles ladder in, well, I almost went back to my old one there, with our favourite Pokemon, Alcremie, me mateys. Very good. And so, with a new season comes, I guess you could say, a new perspective, because last season, at the very end, I figured out that we don't actually have to fear the Sneasler as much as we do currently on the Audino, right? Sure, close combat's still an very deadly, right, against base Audino, but Mega Audino doesn't particularly care about the Diaclaw unless if it sleeps or paralyzed. But apart from that, Mudsdale can actually handle a Sneasler. I mean, it sounds crazy to think about that, but yeah, you don't actually have to worry about the Sneasler with Mudsdale around. Crazy. Anyway, so, utilizing this fact, now we have to ask the question, how well does Mudsdale survive the matchup, right? Let's just say if we're up against the typical Charizard Y team, right, and they want to lead, well, maybe not typical Charizard Y, but like, they have like Whimsicott, Charizard, Garchomp, then Staraptor over like Floette or something, and if they lead the Whimsicott, right, and Sneasler, they're going to, if they fake out the Audino, right, and then Energy Ball or Moonblast the Mudsdale, if we can predict that Mudsdale will survive the turn, then there's absolutely no reason not to attack on that specific turn, because we've got the bulk to live pretty much everything that the Sneasler wants to do into us. It's just that against like rain teams in particular, we need to be careful with Mudsdale, so a protect might be necessary, right? Because we can't feasibly Oko a Sneasler if their Pelipper and the Sneasler is going to double up into the Mudsdale slot. Base Audino will still live whatever Mega Audino will still live whatever Pelipper has to offer when Sneasler doubles up into it, but in that situation, it's usually better to try and let Mudsdale protect itself while Audino's going for Trick Room, at least in that sort of situation, right? So we got to look for situations where we can get off the high horsepower with the Audino. Now, I'm going to be changing things up a little bit this season. This team has done me so well, I'm going to be keeping it as a reserve team, and it's going to be pretty much in the Hall of Fame until I can figure out something a little bit better. Try and figure out how I can fit Fake Out onto this team without like losing a core component of it. And unfortunately, I mean, even including the Pokemon I'm going to show you next, if you've seen the thumbnail, you already guessed who it is, but of course, with Mega Raichu X, we can't really, we can still take on the Basculin Legion matchup, right? But unlike Meowscarada, we're affected by Intimidate on the Flower Trick. Not that it matters for Raichu, especially if you run Max Attack, but because we're running speed that will always outspeed modest Charizards, Charizard Y specifically, yeah. We need to account for the fact that Intimidate may prevent us from getting a KO on really bulky Basculin Legions outside of electric terrain. To compensate for that, though, we have pretty much an innate built-in Focus Sash. Not so much ability-wise, but more so the fact that Raichu X is a little bit more tankier than a Meowscarada is, not being as weak to as many moves as Meowscarada is, and we can resist some things that Mega Audino doesn't like to take, like those Make It Rains, right, from Goldengos. And Raichu's also able to put up a fight while also providing value with electric terrain so that we don't get randomly hypnosised or sung, like, put to sleep, right? You could argue we could have a second Pokemon to utilize electric terrain a little bit more. Maybe I'm gonna put back Thunder Gaming on Audino just to make sure, right? But I'm kind of trying out a phase 2, like a sort of sub-Trick Room strategy where we don't really need Trick Room, but we can utilize Trick Room if we want to go super standard, right? Mega Raichu X is a very good offensive option for the team that can wipe out certain targets in one hit if it needs to. Maybe max attack Jolly would be nice, but I still want that extra defense so that we can survive certain trades. So like, if we find ourselves against an Archaludon team, which this team kind of struggles against actually, we can Oko the Sneasler if it's not running Focus Sash with just a Volt Tackle from regular Raichu after we fake out the Archaludon to prevent stamina, not prevent stamina, to prevent Electroshock from going off, right? And then once we set up the Trick Room, depending on whether or not it's unburdened Sneasler or not, or if it's max speed Sneasler, then we can underspeed those particular Sneaslers. And I assume Sneaslers are usually running max speed anyway, because first of all, the you gotta be able to live certain situations when the opponent has Charizard Y next to a different Pokemon, and then yeah, stuff like that. I'm going to also try out Alluring Voice Alcremie for this one, because Alluring Voice allows us to trade at least reasonably with the Archaludon. After Leftovers, it's still a little bit tougher than usual, but hopefully we can make it work. It's going to be a little bit tough into Archaludon, but we're going to have to rely on Alcremie to pull through here. I think the line is for Archaludon teams, especially when they run Sneasler. We're not as weak to Sneasler on this team compared to before, since we don't have Primarina nor the Meowscarada. But against the Sneasler, they're not as liable to lead the Sneasler, right? So we just still have to be careful about that. They're more liable to run Archaludon first, because Archaludon gets like 3 of my Pokemon here, and then resists pretty much everything else on the physical side, right? Yeah, it's going to be a bit tougher without Primarina and Meowscarada, considering they were our 2 MVPs of damage, right? But I'm going to try and put the focus onto Alcremie in terms of finishing off crucial targets, because the single target damage from Alluring Voice is just a little bit more practical than the spread damage in certain situations. That said, the spread damage is still very nice, especially when we need something like Hyper Voice, Primarina to take care of like situations where they're trying to stall out Trick Room, but we need to have spread moves so we're not playing the guessing game and stuff like that. That's kind of what Armourouge is for with Heatwave, but yeah, it's a little bit tougher to manage this team. We're rocking Vaporeon over Primarina because I wanted to bring Vaporeon back. Over time, we might see the return of Primarina, but I wanted to give Vaporeon a go, and we're going to rock with that. And since we don't have the Meowscarada, the Focus Sash has returned to Mudsdale, just so we can survive pretty much any situation with either grass or water. Doesn't matter, Mudsdale will take at least 1 hit before going down, and usually that should be enough to help us out with the rain matchups or into Charizard Y when we don't have Trick Room set up. I mean, Raichu X can account for that, but it's in cases where they've saved the Charizard for last and we've lost Mega Raichu X, or even just regular Raichu, right, can take care of a Charizard. It's just that with regular Raichu, I don't think regular Raichu has any speed, extra speed. No, 110 speed, so we always outspeed the Charizard and can always hit it with Volt Tackle. We don't need to Mega the Raichu but for Charizard, but it's something that we have into that team. Against Floette, though, we kind of need to Mega the Raichu. It's just too important to let Floette live. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough preamble. We're gonna just go into it with this because, well, this season. Oh dear, this season's going to. Well, last season was absolutely fantastic. I fell down and I climbed my way back up into the 1700s, and I couldn't be any happier with my former team. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try and skip past the bot matches if I get them, but otherwise, But otherwise, me mateys, I'm going to try and play some games, get into hopefully Great Ball rank, or, you know, just climb out of Pokeball rank this video. And stick around, because I'm going to address a few things, just like talk about content in general. So stick around for that at the end of the video, and I'll see you in the match, me mateys. Alright, Garchomp Mimikyu. Ooh, this kind of makes me wish we had a Bomber Snow for this. But Garchomp does not appreciate Alcremie one bit, and nor does that Hydreigon. And considering it's Shiny Charizard, I'm led to believe that this is not a bot team. Let's see. Because I can fake out any of these options bar the Mimikyu. And even if you wanted to Encore me, I can switch out into Alcremie next. And then I think Armarouge is still pretty fine despite there being a Garchomp. The only issue is if they have Whimsicott Mimikyu and they manage to Encore like our Trick Room. Not that we kind of need it if they bring in Mega Charizard X, right? Or even Charizard Y. This should be fine. We're expecting Garchomp and Mimikyu at the very least. And then probably Corveau-nite if you're worried about the Alcremie. If you have Energy Ball, Whimsicott is also a very good option too, but you'd be afraid of the Armarouge, since it's really good into Charizards. Just by virtue of having Flash Fire. Okay, so let's see what my opponent's going to bring into me. Corveau-nite and Hydreigon. Okay, Alcremie can handle that pretty well, and I don't think we need to set up Trick Room for this turn. Pressure, Corveau-nite. Okay. Corveau-nite is never faster than Audino here. But I do have to be careful if I want to Mega the Raichu at this point in time. Because if I do, I don't have as much defenses into their Garchomp in the back. I'm just going to see what they're going to do on the Hydreigon. And then a Raw Volt Tackle might just get the Corveau-nite here. They're very bulky, so it might not OHKO, but it is a very worthy attack trade I'm willing to take. Considering that this is what I wanted Raichu to do for this matchup, this is very much what I wanted. That's going to hurt a lot, and it's Choice Scarf Hydreigon. Considering it outsped the Raichu here, I think. Doesn't KO the Corveau-nite, which is fine. That means I should probably Mega the Audino and start going for... whatchamacallits? Start going for Trick Room. Because Corveau-nite doesn't actually get to switch out thanks to the Protect, so that's very good. And now the Hydreigon's locked to Draco Meteor, or it's at -2, and that doesn't particularly worry us at the moment. Since it's Pressure Corveau-nite, we can go into Alcremie. And then force the Hydreigon to switch to probably Charizard? Or Garchomp. Either way, Megaing the Audino here, and then going for a Mystical Fire, expecting them to switch out the Hydreigon should be good here. I could also just Mystical Fire this Corveau-nite if I don't want it on the field, but I suspect this Corveau-nite's faster than my Alcremie, so... and it clicked U-turn, so I think I'll just Mystical Fire this this Corveau-nite anyway, just in case something weird happens, right? So they withdraw the Hydreigon. Maybe it was a good option to do that. Yeah, it's Charizard. Okay, I should have Mystical Fired the Charizard, the other slot. That's alright. Getting rid of Raichu is a very good play from their end. And they roost, but I don't think they can survive the Life Orb Mystical Fire coming next. Oh, they can, so it's max bulk. Okay. What's good for me is that I actually don't need to stay in with the Audino now. I can protect the Alcremie to avoid the Heat Wave that's coming. And then if they Mega Charizard Y, then the next Mystical Fire will definitely KO the Corveau-nite. So we're going to save Audino as a backup Trick Room option and protect the Alcremie in this case. I know it stalls out a turn of my own Trick Room, but this is very good for me since it's a very good position for Armourouge to come in no matter what they sent in. Unless if it's Scorching Sands Charizard. That's the only thing that gets us here. If they Scorching Sands the Audino slot, which I don't think will happen. I think they're going to just click Heat Wave or Protect and then roost the Corveau-nite. Now, if my opponents are really good, they won't Mega the Charizard this turn, and they'll roost the Corveau-nite again. Because now that we have Mystical Fire, they need to consider the Sun. And especially with Armourouge coming in. So do they protect their Charizard? They do protect without going into Mega. That's very good. They're a very good player. And they roost the Corveau-nite, so that's very good. Okay, now what we can do, we don't actually need to target the Corveau-nite this turn. We can just double up into this Charizard. We'll go for a Psychic, and we'll go for a Mystical Fire into it too, just in case if they want to switch into a different option, right? Actually, no, we can just Dazzling Gleam. Or Alluring Voice too. I think that's a really good option. It covers for the Hydreigon switching in, and it also... because we'll always survive the Iron Head coming from the Corveau-nite. Even a Heavy Slam won't faint the Alcremie, I don't think. But I think this is worth it. Yep, you withdraw the Charizard, which is about right. And it's Hydreigon, so Psychic should at least go into the Corveau-nite, so this is okay. So we predict the Hydreigon switch in. Very good, me mateys. And unfortunately, Psychic won't do that much damage into the Charizard, into the Corveau-nite, but we do chip down its health. And Iron Defense for Body Press, really nice for our Audino in the back, but against these two, it's not going to matter too much. Yep, and that should be enough for Mystical Fire to KO too. And especially with a special defense drop, that's going to prevent Corveau-nite from surviving, even if they click Roost. Now will be a good time to show Garchomp, since that's kind of your only option left into the Armourouge. Because if you remove the Armourouge, you do remove my potential, right? Yeah. Oh, okay, so you got Whimsicott. I'm free to click Heat Wave here. And if it misses the Corveau-nite, it misses the Corveau-nite. And Charizard's your last option, so one of these two Pokemon are going to switch and they're going to try and Encore us, right? I don't think I mind it too much, but I got to respect this Whimsicott for Audino. So let's go for the Mystical Fire into the Corveau-nite slot, since it did lose that special defense. And then Heat Wave will be able to get the Whimsicott onto Sash. So Whimsicott protects, that's very nice, but what's the Corveau-nite doing? Okay, Corveau-nite just faints to Mystical Fire then. Very good. We do need to be careful now, because Charizard has enough offense to down the Alcremie. But as long as Alcremie is on the field, we can get away with another Trick Room next turn should they protect the Charizard, right? So now this turn, because the Whimsicott's protected, we just go for another Heat Wave and Mystical Fire. Yeah. If I wanted to optimize the play a little bit, like if I wanted to really nail down the Whimsicott, I'd probably just click Psychic into it, but I'm not that worried about it, me mateys. It's still Pokeball tier, and my opponent's been doing pretty well this game. They recognized that they shouldn't Mega the Charizard because they just activate our fire moves, right? So, unfortunately, I've kind of read into some of their plays, right? And we're just on the full offensive thanks to us getting Trick Room. This looks like a Trick Room Whimsicott maybe. And if Heat Wave misses and they're... Oh, no, never mind. They're not. They're never going to click Trick Room on the last turn of Trick Room. I mean, I've done that before, so no shade if that ever does happen. But, like, yeah. Now that Charizard's by itself, I can just click Trick Room on the Armarouge and then... If we survive on the Alcremie, we can click Decorate, but I think it's just better off to Protect here. So it is Charizard Y. They need to get off a really big Heat Wave or a Scorching Sands into the Armarouge. And if they have Scorching Sands, that kind of makes it so that we have to feint it with Audino and Mystical Fire, right? But yeah, we're just kind of hoping that Armarouge can deal with this Charizard. So Armarouge Flash, Fire activates, and we show that we have Trick Room on Armarouge, so we're not too worried about Charizard now, and this should prompt a forfeit. Yep, no worries me mateys. So my opponent was really good there, keeping the Sun until they absolutely needed it was exactly what they needed to do. Unfortunately, their team didn't seem too well into Trick Room in that sort of situation. I suspect they wanted the Whimsicott just so they could prevent maybe a second Trick Room going up or something. I'm not too particularly sure. I don't want to read too much into it, but I knew what I needed to do in order to beat that team. I just needed Armarouge and hope that we got the Oko onto the Corveau-nite with regular Raichu so that Mega Audino can set up the Trick Room for the Alcremie in case if we needed to take down the Garchomp. Luckily, they didn't bring the Garchomp, so it was a little bit more simpler for me just to click Mystical Fire everywhere, right? Predicting the Hydreigon switch in was a little... To me, it felt like, okay, if I'm going to click Psychic onto this, because I know Heat Wave's not going to do much, they see the Psychic typing, right? Their best bet is to go with the Hydreigon. But you still risk the fact that Alcremie can just Oko it. You saw that we went Mystical Fire for the Corveau-nite. However, I already know the Corveau-nite matchup into Alcremie anyway. So my line was just to deal some massive damage onto your protected slot. That's the thing when you know, like, this is what I've been saying with, like, understand your Pokemon before you can, like, try and mix it up, right? I already know most of Alcremie's matchups besides, I guess Mega Metagross. We lose hard to Mega Metagross, but like most of Alcremie's matchups rely on not getting Hyper Beam to the face or getting doubled up into. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just think I did pretty well there. Reading the Hydreigon switch-in was pretty nice, but I don't think they had a better switch-in considering it was the Whimsicott. Whimsicott would have been a nice fodder, because I don't think the Whimsicott was doing them any gains in that particular match anyway. Something to consider anyway. Anyway. Oh dear. Ooh, Raichu. Nice. So, this is very interesting. Raichu on a Mega Staraptor team is actually very threatening to my team because of the fact that it is a Raichu. They don't need to Mega the Raichu, they just can keep it next to their Staraptor and prevent them from ever fainting, right? However, they don't actually need to do that. They can just lead Farigiraf King Gambit if they suspect it is Trick Room. However, we do have a turn of leniency if they want to set up close combat, right? So the aim here, I think they're going to lead Farigiraf Staraptor, imprison with it Farigiraf, and then set up close combat. It's a little bit weird. We're going to have to play a little bit of a Raichu mirror here. I think it's good to lead the Audino in case they do have King Gambit. Raichu so we can Drain Punch the King Gambit. Mudsdale so we can deal with the Raichu. And then Alcremie for the Staraptor. The only issue with this is if I need to Mega the Raichu for the Sylveon. That's going to be the most problematic thing. Because we can theoretically take on a Staraptor with Mega Audino. It's going to take a while though, considering all things considered. But like, this is a problematic matchup. It's all dependent on how they utilize their Raichu here. And if they lead the Raichu too. Okay, Sylveon Staraptor. Right. Trick Room's out of the question, but we can potentially get an Oko with Mega Raichu on the Staraptor. The Sylveon's problematic though. I'm going to try something different. This might lose me the game, but I'm going to try something different. I'm going to protect the Audino, and then Mega the Raichu, go for a Volt Tackle into this Sylveon. They're probably going to protect their Staraptor anyway, but if they're Choice Scarf Staraptor, then I just kind of lose out anyway. But we'll go for this. This should at least take down the Sylveon to 10% after Intimidate. So the play might be protect your Sylveon, switch out the Staraptor, or protect the Sylveon, protect the Staraptor, and then... Oh, that's Raichu Y. That's very good. Yeah, I had a feeling this might happen, but like, I wanted to go for it, right? I wanted to try and go for the Sylveon, but my opponent here has completely read me. Very good, me mateys. Okay, now that that's happened, I need to go into Armarouge. And it looks like they are going for Raichu Y over the Staraptor. That's okay. The read was very nice. I don't have Armarouge, but that's okay. The ensuring Focus Blast will just KO us, so I think I need to get the Alcremie in here, since it is that Raichu Y. Let's go for the Drain Punch, and hope it KOs Raichu Y, or if it's Raichu X, it will do probably about 45%, so take him down to 60%. So this is just in case if they do Mega the Staraptor, but a Focus Blast is definitely coming for the Audino here. Or the Staraptor too, very good. Okay, so this is kind of the worst situation that could have happened, and it's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Here comes a close combat. That won't faint the Alcremie, but now we need to be careful that Brave Bird will. So they get the Raichu to fake out. Last turn too, I should have just fake out the Staraptor or one of these two Pokemon, right? That way I wouldn't have to boost their special attack. But that is okay. If they do not Brave Bird this situation, that should be okay. What they should do is probably close combat the Raichu, go for an attack on their Raichu into my Alcremie. But if they don't, I'm just going to Alluring Voice you and then go for a Drain Punch anyway, because we actually have enough bulk to live a close combat from Staraptor. Bar critical hit, of course, but like, this should be okay. Not good, but okay. Okay, there goes the Raichu with the Focus Blast. It hits, by the way, with a critical hit, so that's just unfortunate. And they do just double up into the Raichu, so that's very good. We don't have much lines into it now, but... the Alluring Voice should do about half. And then Brave Bird will take us out. But getting the Focus Blast, oh, the Alluring Voice, thanks to it raising its stats. That's very good. Okay. I still think I'll go into Mudsdale here. Even if we're at a speed disadvantage, there's not much they can do to KO the Mudsdale here, and Raichu has to protect. or run. So I think I might just protect the Alcremie here, just in case if you go for a Brave Bird. And then high horsepower this Raichu, since they have to risk another Focus Blast missing, or something else. Yeah, because Zap Cannon's not going to hit. So they should probably switch out the Raichu. I feel like I'm going to make a hard read, but high horsepower is okay here too. So they don't protect on either of their Pokemon, so that tells me they're just going to double up into the Alcremie. Yep, there's one. And Staraptor hits itself. That's very good. That's so beneficial. Now high horsepower connects and eliminates the Raichu because it was Raichu Y. Very good, me mateys. Okay. So I probably could have ran the Gauntlet and tried for another Alluring Voice, and that's exactly what I'm going to go for here. If Staraptor hits itself again, we're just in such a good position. Otherwise, that's kind of it. Alright, let's see. Oh my goodness me, mateys! Oh, the Alcremie prevails! Oh no, me mateys! Oh, very good Alcremie! Ooh, Alluring Voice, the way to go, me mateys! Oh my goodness, now we can just get in, Audino. Heavy Slam might not KO, depending on how bulky it is. Ooh, look at that! Oh, they only have like 2 points in defense. That was probably a low roll if that was the case, but me mateys. King Gambit. Okay, now what they need to do, they need to annihilate this, this Alcremie off the face of the earth, right? Or annihilate the Mudsdale off of the face of the earth. Personally, I think they're just going to click, Hyper Voice now. I think I have to unfortunately let the Alcremie go here. And then protect the Mudsdale. Because if they Sucker Punch my Mudsdale and they click Hyper Voice, then we don't have enough health to really close out the match. I don't think so anyway. It's a little bit risky, but I'm going to try it out anyway. See how this works. Okay, are you protecting your Sylveon? That should be a good line here. They just go for another Hyper Beam into the Mudsdale. Very good. We called out there another Hyper Beam. And now it's just going to be up to Audino to set off a Trick Room to get Mudsdale into faster than this King Gambit. Okay, they click Swords Dance. That's a very good line. However, even a +2 Sucker Punch won't be able to feint the King Gambit here. Sucker Punch onto the Alcremie will, but Alluring Voice will prevent them from stacking up. And we should be good with this. +2 Sucker Punch because we can live the Kotal, and it's just the Kotal that we don't live. Yeah, high horsepower should be okay. Sucker Punch, that won't feint us unless if it's crit. No crit, very good. And then Alluring Voice. I don't want to risk the +4, so that's why I went for Alluring Voice. And then does High Horse connect? High horsepower connects, me mateys! And look at that, me mateys. Unfortunately, Audino didn't get to show its stuff off. But it showed off enough, right? My goodness. Even if Raichu just got absolutely obliterated off the face of the earth, me mateys, we called out some pretty fantastic plays there. I don't know how I'm managing it. I think I'm just on top of my game. But me mateys, oh my goodness, this is great. It's kind of like I just had a weight lifted off my shoulders or something, and like I don't know. It was just like the pressure of the Sneasler matchups and pressure of being a content creator and all that sort of stuff, but still, me mateys, not too bad. Am I right, me mateys? And watch me get too greedy here. That was also a case of I had to salvage the game too, because of how I played into the Raichu. I just wanted to see if they'd actually keep in the Sylveon, but they still outplayed me regardless. Okay, oh, this is a very nice team. I wouldn't mind, this team looks very nice. But you know what we do to Gardevoirs, me mateys? We just heavy slam them. Gardevoir's the new Lucario. If you didn't know, I always just plus overheat Lucarios with Breakson, and then that always obliterates them. But we do the same with Mudsdale. But I don't think they're going to lead the Gardevoir. They can if they want. But I think it's just more beneficial if I lead the, because they're going to lead Runerigus, or have it in the back, right? Especially if we want Trick Room here. So I can just go for Fake Out and Audino. If I need to switch out the Raichu, I can switch it out. Oh, jeez, but the rest of the Pokemon's really problematic. I think I actually need to Mega the Raichu here. Alcremie's pretty nice here. So is Vaporeon, but only to resist their water types. Oh, we need Thunder Gaming, me mateys. Oh no. Let's see. Oh dear. I might give Vaporeon a shot. Why not? It's not going to do much into their water types, but hopefully Raichu can take care of that. No Mudsdale 2 feels a little bit strange, but this is, this might be problematic, but they do lead the Slowbro and Runerigus. So, we don't particularly care about Runerigus' ability, and if you didn't know, it's just a skill swap upon hit, right? So you're likely to protect your Slowbro and go for Trick Room. I can't fake out this Runerigus anyway. Let's see. You should protect this turn or go into Torkoal. Runerigus doesn't have enough damage output to take out the Raichu, so I think going into Protect just to... Oh, no. Mega Volt Tackle. Switching. Hopefully I got in the switch for Vaporeon. Yes, okay. Mega the Raichu, get in Vaporeon, and then hopefully we can take out the Runerigus with Vaporeon, should they decide to Trick Room Protect. Okay. They use Ally Switch, so that's very good. That means Slowbro was going to go for the Trick Room. So, unfortunate. I've never played into Ally Switch before, so you might see me completely going for it, right? But this team no longer has any offensive threat into me, since the Runerigus is clicking Ally Switch. And we're completely worn out by that fact. Oh no! So I think I can just double up into the Slowbro slot. Because even a Volt Tackle into your Serena won't get the KO, but it'll do a lot of damage. And then Scald, just in case if you decide to Ally Switch again. So Runerigus uses Sand Tomb. We avoid that like a champ. Unfortunately, Scald will go first, and Expanding Force might be coming for us next since they use Psychic Terrain. But that's okay, me mateys. Raichu, this Raichu kind of does need Electric Terrain, but we're not too worried about that going off. So very good, there goes Slowbro. I think we switch out the Raichu and go for Life Duty next time we come in, because we're going to take a lot of chip damage from that. Let's see what they bring in next, depending on what they bring in next anyway. Gardevoir, okay. Yeah, we definitely switch out the Raichu. they took Electric Surge. Maybe we don't. Oh no. Oh no, me mateys. That's funny. Oh no. Oh, because if they took Water Absorb, this Vaporeon would definitely need to switch out too. I go for Raichu here. And then I can take a hit with Vaporeon, but I'm just going to Scald the Gardevoir, expecting them to ally switch, right? This gets your Rune Regus even if you don't. And then we can be trapped by a Sand Tomb on the Audino slot, so we can reverse their Trick Room. So this is okay. We don't want to be trapped in this situation with the Raichu. Alright, Mega Gardevoir still faster than Vaporeon, even at min speed, so we should be fine here. Yep, ally switch, no problemo. We're just tanking your Hyper Voice here, and we want to do some damage into any of your Pokemon here, just to stall out Trick Room a bit. So that's fine. Rune Regus takes a lot of damage in return, and here comes a Hyper Voice. Yep, gonna do a lot of damage. Not enough for a 2-hit KO, so we are pretty fine. And in actual fact, I don't need to do anything but click Life Dew. And right? Because if I take out your Rune Regus, your next option is to bring out Torkoal. And Trick Room's only 2 turns left, so unless if you have a Trick Room on your Rune Regus, you're bound to not protect and go for another ally switch. So I'm gonna still target the Gardevoir anyway. We have a turn to do this, and this is the perfect turn to still try and target the Gardevoir. Oh, they have Curse. Okay. It's a 4-turn KO, so we should be fine. This is going to negate the Life Dew from Curse, though, unfortunately. Audino will be subject to fainting here, and then we just need to consider what their last Pokemon is if we need Trick Room or not. Because if we do, we need to switch out the Audino right now. So it's very good that the Rune Regus took itself out, but yeah, depending on who the next Pokemon is, it was a really good choice. Okay, let's see. We don't have Fake Out anymore, but I don't think that should matter. Alright. I'm gonna switch into Alcremie. And then, do I Ice Beam? I think I do. If I need Electric Terrain again, I think I do. Maybe. I just need to see how fast this Gardevoir is. I know we're not going to get up a Trick Room after this, but like, yeah. Okay, so you're just going to Trop Kick, it looks like, but that should be okay. That's enough for Mystical Fire to KO, and oh, Power Whip. Oh, that's going to hurt. Oh, goodbye, Vaporeon. Oh, no. Okay, if they're faster on the Gardevoir, we need to be careful, because Hyper Voice should be enough to KO. However, I'm going to take that risk, because Trick Room just expired, and we don't have enough HP to live another Hyper Voice on Audino. So Mega Raichu X, and then hope that we outspeed for a Volt Tackle KO on the Gardevoir, and then Mystical Fire this Serena. Because if it's Choice Scarf Serena, they might be able to land a Power Whip onto the Raichu and then KO us if they're faster on the Gardevoir. Gardevoir can outspeed the Raichu here since we're only Jolly and only outspeeding Charizards. So it's all up to how much speed they built on their Gardevoir, unfortunately. Let's see if we can get it. So how much speed? It should be... Oh, they're not confident in their speed. Okay, very good. We can definitely leverage that fact. And then goodbye, Gardevoir. Very nice, me mateys. I see what they were trying for there. They tried to get the Raichu after the Power Whip, yeah. And it would have taken out the Raichu too. So that play was 30% chance to net them the victory there. Yeah. Oof. Would have been a complete victory, but we would have had to hope that Audino lives the Hyper Voice, right? And I don't think so, but because yeah, what I'd try to do, I know Alcremie could live the Hyper Voice just, and then unless if it's like a high roll, so I'd Mystical Fire the Gardevoir on that turn, and then go for a Trick Room. That should be enough to get the KO on Gardevoir, but yeah, it was very close though. It was very close, closer than it looked. Yeah, because they had the means to take out both of my Pokemon. I think the Rune Regus was very good too. Relying on the fact that they didn't bring the Milotic was also a key component in winning that, because that strategy I had there did not work if they brought in Milotic. Sure, if it was Coil Hypnosis, Electric Terrain saved us, but the damage output would solely rely on Mega Raichu X, and if they had, if they relied on Mega Gardevoir to take out Mega Raichu, yeah, it was going to be a lot more problematic. But me mateys, how about that? A dual Mega team with both my favourite Megas winning me all 3 matches here. Now, I kind of realize I kind of used Raichu a lot here. We know what Mega Audino's capable of around here, but we got to show off that Raichu can do its thing too, even when not running max attack, me mateys. 5 points in at physical attack is more than enough in my opinion. I could even get away with 1 point. There is certain bulky Charizards that it might not be able to KO after Electric Terrain goes away, but apart from that, yeah, I think this is really nice. The threat of Fake Out is slightly better, but also still has enough speed to outspeed Basculegions that don't have Choice Scarf. The trade-off for this is that we hard lose Choice Scarf Basculegion every time, because what they can do, they just can click Last Respects, right? We'd have to try and really hard read the Last Respects so it goes into the Audino, and then we have to hope whatever we have next to the target, right, can survive or at least chip down the Basculegion. But yeah, the Choice Scarf Basculegion sets are going to be really tough from here. On the other hand, could actually leverage Mudsdale against that, because if it is Choice Scarf and we don't have any HP or damage taken on the Mudsdale, we can just go for high horsepower, survive the Last Respects, and then use whatever Pokemon we need to, hopefully, to take it down. But yeah, in a one-on-one situation, Last Respects always beats the Raichu, unfortunately. Especially if it's like a last Pokemon situation. So that's the trade-off we gotta take, me mateys. As for today, I didn't encounter any Sneaslers, but if there was a Sneasler, I think I'd still go for Mega Audino, have Raichu as like a deterrent factor. Because when you introduce Fake Out onto your side, it sort of prompts the fastest Fake Out user to fake out your Fake Out user. But then you introduce Trick Room to that, and now it's like, okay, well, if you're going to Fake Out me, I may as well just dump all my offense into the Audino, right? Just in case if you don't Fake Out me. So we can leverage that as a trap, as long as it's not Goldango we're coming across against. If it is Goldango, you could argue we could go for the Ghost Berry on Armourouge. However, we still need the King Gambit matchup sealed, because King Gambit's one of the most toughest matchups for a Trick Room team, in my opinion. If you're not running King Gambit yourself, right? You can just low kick the other King Gambit and be slower, right? But yeah. Because we're not running King Gambit, and because I frankly don't want to, King Gambits need either a dedicated slot to deal with it, in this case the Armarouge, or probably the Alcremie too if we get it low enough, because a Mystical Fire can KO it from around 70%. But yeah, anyway, today was a really good day for battling for me mateys, which makes me a little bit sad that I have to end it off on a little bit of a dreary note, but it is what it is. So I'll give my summary spotlight today to the Raichu, of course. The summary spotlight to Raichu, and Raichu, you did pretty well today. All things considered, even if you activated a lightning rod, that's okay. I wanted to test it out. I knew that they were going to do something with their Staraptor, keep it on the field, but I really wanted to see if they were going to keep in their Sylveon or switch into their Raichu first. And it looks like you switch into the Raichu if you predict a Volt Tackle, right? Because usually most Raichus run fighting coverage, and Iron Tail's not that accurate, so it's always better to switch anyway. And of course, most Raichus don't even run Dig as well, so always better to switch out the Sylveon in that case, even if you wanted to protect your Staraptor too, right? Because just as easily, we could have gone for a Trick Room there, but I wanted to account for the fact that they would have gone close combat turn 1, just in case, right? But yeah, okay, me mateys. Alright, so, buckle your seatbelts and, yeah. So, okay. So, over the past few videos, I've been going on about, like, content with ZA, right? And what that's kind of done for the channel. And me mateys, I've gone through some of my videos, and I've gone through like what type of YouTuber I want to be, right? And it's very awkward for me to say this, but like, it was wrong for me to try to deny the ZA content, even after it failed, like even after it drove down my placings in the algorithm, or whatever you could say. This is because when the ZA video dropped the first time after Champions came out, I was still in a very very new phase of YouTube in terms of like account creation, and I didn't account for the fact that after I post a few Champions content that I'd get like an influx of people wanting to know about Champions, right? Even if I was more on the niche side, being a Mega Audino player, I didn't account for that fact, and I got really worried about the views, pretty much, and that kind of goes against my long-term goal of being a YouTuber. I'm here to stick it out for the long run, and because of that, when I announced that the ZA videos were no longer applicable, yeah, that, looking back on that, that felt really, really bad. Just goes against what I wanted for this channel, and I do humbly hope that you can forgive me for going through that motion. I was not keenly aware that the algorithm would eventually punish it, because now that the channel's stabilized a lot after the influx, right, the ZA videos are gonna hurt the channel a lot more than I initially thought, right? Because at that time I thought, oh well, it's still getting people to watch, and it's not doing well, sure, but it won't affect future videos. And well, I didn't manage it correctly, and I'm still really learning it too, so I think the best thing I can do, I just go back to my roots, right? I'm not really particularly worried about the views, so why should I worry when a ZA video is not doing good, right, me mateys? And that's what I'm gonna go for. So there will be another ZA video when the next season starts, and I'm still going to keep on doing ZA content, just occasionally though, still. It's what I like, and it's what I enjoy doing. I like covering ZA because I think they should do more with real-time battles with Pokemon. And it just feels like such a shame just to stop just because the algorithm said so, right? And me mateys, I do hope you can forgive me. I don't mind if that's not what you want to watch. That's okay. I'm still going to supply champions content, and the ZA content can just be a nice bonus for those who enjoy the real-time battles. Yeah. I do hope you can forgive me for doubling back on my long-term goal, and I'm going to rewire myself onto that track. Oh dear, no, forgive me for laughing there. So, that is the plan, but otherwise, this season, me mateys, will be Mega Raichu X and Mega Audino. Again, we could see Vaporeon switching out for Primarina, but I kind of like keeping the poison weakness a little bit lower, just so I have something into Glumora. We're lacking the low kick potential from Meowscarada into T-Tars, but oh well, me mateys. Can't rely on the low kicks every day, but... Oh, also, I wanted to fit Snorlax here somewhere, but okay, because the strategy I had for Sneasels works very well with Mudsdale. Unfortunately, it doesn't work as well with Snorlax, because we need Choppleberry Snorlax to make that happen. But because of Snorlax's weakness to fighting types, but to Sneasler in particular, it just enables Sneasler to get away with close combating the Snorlax slot, even if they were worried about Trick Room going up and they fake out the Audino, right? The pressure that Sneasler can exude onto Snorlax is just a little bit tough, and it's also really bad if we need to have a Sinistcha matchup, even if we have the Heat Crash, right? Yeah. On the plus side, if we have Choppleberry, we can go for the Earthquake, right? And this also accounts for, like, Glumora, Goldango, and Sneasler if we have Earthquake, right? Earthquake into Audino does practically nothing from a Snorlax. It does about double the damage from a Mudsdale, but double damage from 10% is only 20%. It costs a life dew to do it, but I think it's very life doable, me mateys. Oh dear, very good. So, as for how this team is progressing so far, it's done pretty well. I managed it so well into Mega Staraptor. I did not think it would work that well, but having a luring voice, chef's kiss, chef's kiss, me mateys. A luring voice in this sort of situation, I think benefits us more, because this team is all about the 1v1 matchup sort of thing. The Hyper Voice, the Dazzling Gleams are nice, but we can rely on Mega Audino to deal that chip damage with nice Dazzling Gleams. And if we come across more Hydreigons usually mean Choice Scarf Hydreigon, because it's a really nice option, or Focus Sash Hydreigon if they fear the Mega Floette, right? Or Sylveons in general. But yeah, even Scope Lens Hydreigon's not that uncommon. I mean, it kind of is, but like, don't really need to account for it, I don't think. Maybe it'll fate me in the future for saying that, but that's okay, B-Mateys. I'm fine with that. And since it's almost an hour of recording, oh my goodness, very good, B-Mateys. So that was the first round of matches with, well, this season MB3. Oof, MB3 player. Oh dear. Oh, very good. Yes, so that will be it for this video, me mateys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Vuvi Yaloovie, and I will see you in the next one. Ta and ta-ta.